Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If it's your first time joining, thank you. In today's video we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I have been contacted by a company called Sotech, and they have asked me to do a unboxing video and a first impressions video on their Magna Hoop magnetic embroidery hoop, and I have it here in this carton. I have went ahead and opened it to make sure everything was okay and nothing was damaged on the inside. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open it. And I have to tell you, I am very impressed with the packaging. I really like minimal packaging and not a lot of wasted product. So I'm really impressed that it's just a simple box with a piece of styrofoam in it and some bubble wrap. Really simple packaging. Okay, so the hoop itself is in bubble wrap. We're going to put the box aside. And first off, I really do like the size of the hoop. I got the 8x8 inch hoop. And the reason why I got the 8x8 is because I do a lot of embroidered quilt blocks. And I like the fact that the 8x8 hoop gives you the variety of being able to do up to an 8x8 inch quilt block and then smaller quilt blocks. I also like the fact that I will be able to do in the hoop projects with this embroidery hoop because it is large enough to be able to do some of those in the hoop projects that you will require a larger hoop for, such as in the hoop makeup bags and things like that, or in the hoop zipper pouches. So it'll let me do that in this hoop. Okay, so I keep looking at this and I really like the fact that each magnet, you can see that each magnet has these little notches. Can you see that there? Each one has this little notch in it that makes it easier for you to pick up the magnet. See how easy that is? And just to remove them off the hoop. Okay. Another thing that I have noticed is that it has a nice felt texture to the hoop itself. And I'm moving these all off to the side. Okay. Another thing that I have just noticed is that the template has some really nice features to it. Okay, so first of all, you can see here on the hoop that it has these little notches. Can you see that? My hand here. It has the little notches in the template, but on the hoop section itself, it has these little bumps here, and you can see here and on the bottom, and then here to the side as well. And it lets you take your template and line it up with those notches so it sits, sorry, so it sits nicely in those little notches. Can you see that? And another thing on the template itself, it has this arrow. Can you guys see that arrow? So it's going to point to the top so you always know which way your template should be. Okay. Template itself, I really like that it is a thicker template plastic. I have seen some other templates where it is a little bit thinner, and I just did not like those. I do like the fact that it has all these little centering marks, so if you do need to mark on your fabric itself, you can use your fabric marking pen and mark the center lines right on it. Another thing I like is that your center lines go all the way to the hoop sides. Okay, and then it's got your very little center dot, oops, right here. So I really do like that. right off the bat. Okay, so I was mentioning that the hoop itself has like a felted texture to the top portion of the hoop. So what that's going to do is that's going to let your fabric grip the hoop a little bit better and not move around, which is going to be fantastic for quilting. That's going to be perfect because it's going to kind of help grip the fabric a little bit better. Also, you can see this little, hopefully you guys can see that, this little plastic strip that's all across this portion right here. So when your hoop is on the bed of your machine, it's going to ride nice and smooth on there, and it's not going to damage your machine with the metal rubbing right up against the bed of the machine. It's got that nice plastic strip for that. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to tell you about a few things that this hoop is good for. According to the instructions, oh wow, this is nice, guys. Okay, the instruction manual, just this little pamphlet, is absolutely incredible because just the back that I've seen and the front are very impressive. Because when you purchase an embroidery hoop, they don't include a lot of instructions with it. That has been my experience. So this is fantastic. Oh wow, even better. Okay, so front page is okay. Says refer to your instruction manual of your embroidery machine for details on how to attach the plastic hoop to your machines. We're not using the plastic hoops. We are using the metal magnetic hoop. So when you open it, it has your basic user instructions. It tells you has your template plastic, your magnetic, these are called your magnetic blocks. It has 8 of them, 2 per side. It tells you how to correctly put your stabilizer on, and we will show you that in just a moment. It has how to correctly use your magnetic blocks or the magnets themselves. It does show you in the instructions that the magnets can be stacked, so I'm going to show you that. And where the little grooves are on each part, you can, and okay guys, did you see how easy that was? It's not hurting my fingers when I'm stacking these. See how you can stack them? That is really nice. I like that it has that nice little feature that you can stack them, and you could store these separately from your hoop if you wanted to, or you know, when you're actually working with it, you can stack them off to the side. Different ways to hoop. It tells you how to hoop hard to hoop fabrics and finished garments such as shirts, sweatshirts, towels, and things like that. Embroider on quilts or sturdy fabrics. It says when you cannot use a water-soluble stabilizer or you do not want residual from stabilizer on the back side, it shows, such as on a quilt or sturdier fabrics, you can embroider without any stabilizer at all, which is absolutely fantastic when you're doing quilting. Some quilting, you do not want a heavy stabilizer in them. And then when you are actually doing the quilting itself, like edge-to-edge quilting designs, you will not be using a stabilizer. So that's fantastic. Lace and freestanding embroideries, standard embroidery, and endless embroidery. So this is fantastic. This little thing right here is a completely added bonus to this magnetic hoop. I have had I have 2 other magnetic hoops that I use, and one of them I actually do have another Magna Hoop. and I have done a video on those before. So if you have not seen that video, please refer to my previous videos. I will try to link that down below as well. Okay, so that's very impressive. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a few things about this hoop before we get a little further into it. Okay, so again, I purchased the 8x8 hoop, and the reason why is because the 8x8 is going to give me that extra room in the hoop. Okay, so I am going to list or tell you some of the FAF machines that this particular hoop will work with. You can also purchase hoops for Brother Machines, Baby Lock, Janome, Husqvarna Viking FAF, and Poulin machines, and it does say etc. So any of those machines that you know that any of your little other machines that you know use those particular brands of that are compatible with those brands, you will be able to use the Magna Hoops from Sotec. Okay, so I have printed off a little sheet, and these are some of the sizes that are for the FAF machine. So you can get a 3.1 inch, which is an 80 by 80 millimeter, 4.7, which is the 120 millimeter hoop, 5.5 or the 140 millimeter, 8 by 8, which mine is, which is the 200 millimeter, or a 7 inch by 9.4 inch, which is 180 by 240 millimeter. Okay, so that is fantastic. Nice variety of hoops. Okay, so this particular hoop that I have fits the FAF Creative Icon 2, the Icon Creative Sensation Pro, Pro 2, Creative Vision, Performance, Creative 4.5, Creative 4.0, Creative 3.0, Creative 2.0, and the Viking Designer Epic 2, Epic, the Brilliance 80, Designer Diamond, Deluxe, Royal, Designer Ruby, the 90, the Royal, the Deluxe, the Designer Topaz 50, 30, 20, Designer Sapphire 85, and the Designer SE embroidery machines. Okay, so that is what these particular hoops can fit for the FAF machines. Oh, that's fantastic. All those different machines that you can buy this particular hoop from or for, and the sizes that I listed off for you here. Okay, it's easy to adjust compared with magnetic hoops with one piece upper frame. So if you are familiar with some of the other magnetic hoops, the upper frame is all one steady hoop portion, and it is hard to adjust your fabrics in them. I know I've had some issues before adjusting my fabrics in them, and it tells you that with these type of magnets that what you can do is when you have your fabric on the hoop, and if you need to adjust a portion of your fabric or your stabilizer in the hoop, you just need to remove that corresponding magnet and adjust that portion. So it makes hooping a lot easier. And I will show you that when we get into that portion of the video. Okay, so I already mentioned that it has the anti-fabric sliding, and that is that, like I was telling you, that nice felted portion on the hoop. That helps the fabric not to move around on the hoop. Okay, another thing that I have learned, okay, so I have said that it is a Magna Hoop and it is sold by Sotec. It does have a 1-year manufacturer warranty that comes with these hoops. So if you purchase the hoop or if you go to Amazon to look it up, please check out the 1-year manufacturer's warranty, and you can read about that. Let's see, what else? Okay, so my particular model The model number is the PA940MK hoop. And again, that is the 8x8 or the 200 by 200 millimeter hoop. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to pause the video. I'm going to adjust the camera, attach the embroidery unit to the machine. You know what? First, let's go ahead and I'm going to adjust the camera. I'm going to show you how you can hoop your stabilizer and your fabrics. Okay, give me just a moment. Okay, so we have the camera in our overhead view. What I'm going to show you now how to do is I'm going to show you how easy it is to hoop a stabilizer with a magnetic hoop. It is extremely easy. I already have the magnets taken off here to the side. I am going to remove the template because I will not be needing the template for what I'm going to be showing you how to do today. Okay, so I have my stabilizer already ready, and I am using a 12-inch wide stabilizer, and I believe I have it cut to 12 by 15 inches. So I am going to, let's see, I'm going to put my stabilizer here first. I'm going to give myself enough room on each side, and you can see the little ridge on the back portion of the magnet, and you're going to want to put that towards the inside of the hoop, and just like so. Okay, and it will show you in the instructions on how to hoop your fabric or your stabilizer correctly. You're going to want to put the magnets on this portion of your hoop first, and then you are going to want to go across to the opposite side, and all my magnets stuck together. And it shows how how on the instructions is that it shows that you can kind of go like this, and it is going to smooth out your stabilizer at the same time, and just kind of drag it across, and you can see that it is already really nice. And then we are going to do the top portion. And I'm kind of doing got these ones stuck together. And you guys can see how easy it is to actually take these magnets apart. I do have artificial nails on, and it is very easy to take these apart. Okay, so I'm going to go drag it across, and that is hooped quite well. So we have our stabilizer hooped. That is how easy it is to hoop your stabilizer on a magnetic hoop. It was so simple. Now, if I needed to adjust the stabilizer in any position, what I could do is I just remove that one magnet and kind of pull on that portion and put my magnet down. If there's any puckers anywhere, I can move that magnet in that area and that easily adjust my stabilizer. Same goes for your fabric. Now, for my project, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a in the hoop quilt block. And what that is going to let me do is it's going to let me do a placement stitch in the hoop. I'm going to then put down a stabilizer piece, and I'm going to stitch that down, and I'll have to remove the hoop out of the machine and trim around. And what the magnetic hoops do for you is it makes it easy to take your hoop in and out of the machine and to cut your stabilizer or anything like that really easily. Okay, So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video again, and what I'm going to do is I will attach the embroidery unit to the machine. I will show you how simply it is to attach the embroidery hoop to the machine, and then we will do a really quick and easy stitch out. Give me just a moment. Okay, so we hooped our stabilizer. I showed you how easy it was to hoop and to adjust your stabilizer if you needed to tighten it in any way. We have our embroidery unit attached to the machine, and again I am using a Creative 4.0 FAF machine. Now I have my design already loaded into the machine, and what I will be showing you how to do is I'm going to show you how to stitch out a in the hoop quilt block. Now the design that I'm going to be using is going to be a sashiko type design, and I'm going to be working on designing my own quilt. So what I'll be doing is I will be using a sashiko design that looks kind of like a honeycomb or hexagons. So I have it already set into the machine. What we're going to do is we're going to take our hoop and we're going to slide it into the machine, and it slides in very easy. You can either push your lock button down or you can just hold your unit and slide it in, and you'll hear it click into place. That way you will know that the hoop is in the machine correctly. Okay, so I have our design all set up. I'm going to hit our start, so it's going to take me to the start position. I am going to make sure I have a little thread tail here to kind of hang on to when I first start. Come on. Okay, I did notice that with any embroidery, magnetic embroidery hoop, that when you are using your tools, they will kind of stick to the hoop, the magnets. I don't have a problem with that. You just kind of like have to work past that. I have found that my experience with all magnetic hoops do that. Okay, so I'm going to place, do our placement stitch first. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start. And I am doing a 6-inch block. I have my stabilizer cut and my piece of fabric. I am using a 7-inch piece of stabilizer. And when you do quilt blocks in a hoop, you want to cut your stabilizer just a little bit larger because you are going to do a placement stitch like what we just stitched. I'm going to take it out and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to cut. Okay, I'm going to take out, and you can see that is what your placement stitch looks like. And with a magnetic hoop, if you were doing anything in the hoop, say a in the hoop stitched zipper bag, it is really easy to remove your hoop and to trim everything up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put it back in. I am going to take my piece of stabilizer and I'm going to place that over my stitch line. Make sure we are all in. Okay, I'm going to do my next stitch. And this stitch is just going to tack down my stabilizer. And I'm just kind of like smoothing out the stabilizer so I don't get no ripple in it. You can tape down your stabilizer if you would like to. Okay, so there is our stabilizer all tacked down. Now what you can do now, make sure my thread is trimmed. You can now take it back out of the machine And what you can do now is you can take your curved embroidery scissors, and what you want to do is you want to trim your stabilizer all the way around. So it's really simple to just go in and trim that. Kind of cutting sideways here. And this is pretty standard with any type of embroidery. It's kind of sticking, my scissors keep wanting to stick to the magnets. It's just something you have to work through with a magnetic hoop. Not a big deal. And I'm just trimming away my excess stabilizer. Okay, so I have that portion off. I'm sorry I'm out of frame there, guys. We're just going to finish trimming that off, and then we're going to pop it right back into the machine and finish your stitch out. Okay, so I have all my excess stabilizer trimmed off, and that is what it should look like now in your hoop. I'm going to pop it back into the machine. I'm going to place my fabric in the hoop over my stabilizer, and you can pin it, tape it, whatever you wish to do. I think I'm just going to hold it down. What it is now going to do is it's going to stitch my outline stitch. And again, I'm just going to kind of hold it so it doesn't have any puckers. So now what you do is you just start your actual design. Okay, I'm going to pull my thread tail out just a little bit more, and we are going to stitch our design. I'm going to pause for just a moment so I can trim my thread tail and restart. And this is how simple it is to use a magnetic embroidery hoop. I like the ease of a magnetic embroidery hoop because it does make hooping a lot quicker. If you're going to be doing a design that requires a lot of hooping, say your quilt blocks where you're going to be making a lot of the same type of block, it really does help to be able to take the fabric off of the hoop quicker. If you're going to be doing a in the hoop design that requires a lot of different hoopings, because the design takes a lot of different stitch outs, then it also makes it even easier to be able to remove the fabric out of the hoop. So you can see just how easy it is to quickly do a standard quilt block. I did choose a very easy design to demonstrate for this to unboxing and review. And you can see how easy it was to put the hoop into the machine. Literally, this design is almost finished. Okay, that is how easy it is to do an in the hoop quilt block. I'm going to remove it from the machine, and you can see how easy that was to make a sashiko quilt block in a magnetic embroidery hoop. Okay, so a few things to go over. Very easy to hoop. I love the fact that the magnets themselves are long, that they're not just the button type. Button type ones are fine. I do have another MagnaHoop that are the button type round magnets, and I like that one. But honestly, I don't use that one as much. This one, I can see that I will be getting a lot more use out of it because the magnet does cover more of the frame or the hoop. I really do like the magnets. I like how easy they are to take off off and put them back on. I like that it doesn't snap my finger when I'm removing them. They're very easy to take off and put back on. So if you have any kind of dexterity issues with your hands, it is going to be easier to take these magnets off. Okay. Okay, so pros, magnets, definitely the instructions that you get, definitely the template on, it has the little cutout arrow, it has the center lines that go all the way across the template. They're not just in the center of the template, but that they go all the way across. They have the markers that you can use your fabric marking pen to actually mark on your fabric if you need to help find your center of a design easier. I like the fact that it's got the little hole so it's easier to pick up out of the hoop. I love the fact that, let me go ahead and take these magnets off. I absolutely love the fact that, I'm going to go ahead and remove this. Okay, so I love that the hoop has these little notches, raised notches on the hoop itself, so you can take your template and lay it on top. That is really going to help mark your centers really easily. I really love that fact. I love how that's on there and they fit on these little grooves in the template and on the hoop. Okay, let's see. So that is what our block looks like. Now, let's see. Okay, look. See, I just got my finger on there. It didn't hurt at all, but these are strong magnets. Let's see. My con, I think there's only one really big con to this hoop. I know a lot of magnetic hoops, when you are using your tools on them, how the magnet will stick to the magnets. There are some magnets and some magnetic hoops out there where they don't do that, but it does have something over the top, a shield over the top of the magnet, so your tool does not stick to it, or your scissors. That's the only negative thing I can say about this hoop. Other than that, I think it's a fantastic product. Will I use it? Absolutely, because it is going to let me create these types of designs quickly. I can stitch it out quickly, have the next one ready, and hoop it very quickly. If I have something going on my multi-needle machine and I'm using my single needle machine, I can do it very quickly. I know some people that they do kind of like shy away from a single needle machine and upgrade to multi-needles because they're quicker. But with the magnetic hoop, it makes your projects a lot quicker because you can hoop faster, you can adjust your fabrics easier. If you're going to be quilting with your single needle machine on an embroidery machine, it's going to make those projects quicker. Okay guys, so I will have the links all down in the description box below. Let me know what you guys think of this hoop. Again, it is the Magna Hoop 8 by 8 inch hoop, or the 200 by 200 millimeter hoop, and that link will be in the description box below, and you will be able to get 3% off right now if you do go and you purchase this hoop through my link. Again, there are multiple different brands of machines that you can buy these hoops that will work with them. Brother, Husqvarna, Janome, Baby Lock, Pfaff, and Poulin. So if any of your machines work with any of those those brand of hoops, please go check this hoop out. It is definitely a great hoop. I really like it. Only one con about the tools sticking to the magnet. A small price to pay for a really nice quality product. All right, guys, we'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.